Good afternoon. I'm Kaylee Hanlon with Junior Library Guild, and I'm here to welcome you to today's webinar featuring 3DBear. As you know, Junior Library Guild is a collection development service for all libraries. Our editors review thousands of books each year and select only the best. You choose from a wide range of categories that fit your library needs, and we deliver exceptional books all year long. Our team often learns about companies that offer innovative solutions for libraries, schools, and the students we serve. 3DBear is one of those companies. We are thrilled to partner with 3DBear and to spend this time together today to introduce you to this exciting technology for augmented reality and 3D printing for your patrons and students. I would like to welcome Mitch Weisburgh as your host for today's webinar.
Well, thank you, Kaylee. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Mitch Weisburgh, and it is really an honor today. I have so many friends who really look forward to getting their Junior Library Guild packages and reading the books. And I'm also feel honored that since I get to work with educators and education technology from all over the world, to be able to share the stage today with Jussi Kajala to present what I think is a breakthrough product. In addition, we'd like to hear from you about your questions and concerns as we go. So if you notice in the top left-hand corner of your screen, there's a question link and there's a chat link. So feel free to chat with us or to ask questions and we'll answer them as we go. And in the meantime, just to get started then, since we all know education is a really serious subject, we wanted to show you first a short introductory video where Jussi introduces himself and 3DBear.
You're such a bear-like fellow, you're not going to have any problems, and I'm going to ask everybody to give you a very warm to get you in there. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Jussi Kajala! Woo! Barefoot with goggles. This guy is on fire! Woo!
I'm a 3D bear in polar bear land. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. In the future, everything will be 3D modeled in virtual reality and augmented reality. Almost everything will be 3D printed. What are we doing to teach our children these vital skills of tomorrow? I have a degree from University of Cambridge. I have PhD in theoretical physics. For the last 3 years, I've been developing the 3D printing industry in Finland in Tekes, the Finnish Funding Agency of Innovation. Now, I'm standing here in this holy nice because I decided to take action. I teamed up with 8 people with complementary skills and better than me to transform the future of education. There are 2 problems why these technologies haven't spread to classroom. First, they are too difficult for a busy teacher. Second, there is no learning content. What do I do with these? How do I learn with these technologies? We have solved these problems by gamifying the learning experience. And secondly, we have co-developed pedagogic content with the best schools in the world, schools in Finland.
Well, personally, I think it takes real dedication to step into ice cold water in Finland in the middle of winter to introduce your product. So, but Jussi, what prompted your team to create 3DBear?
Mitch, first of all, thank you for the introduction. There are so many reasons we created 3DBear. We know that kids learn best when they're engaged and the material that they're dealing with is relevant to them. That's exactly the reason why the maker movement, problem and game-based learning, design thinking, 3D learning in science, and inquiry-based learning in social studies, that's the reason why they're increasingly being embedded in curriculum. We felt that we could come up with a fun way to pull together all these different elements one where educators did not have to be techno wizards. So we built 3DBear to make it easy for today's educators to tap into 3D design for engaging STEM, STEAM, ELA, and social studies lessons.
And I'm sure part of the reason is your vision for the role of 3D design and visualization skills in the future. Can you describe that a little bit?
Sure. In the future, everything will be 3D modeled in augmented reality or virtual reality. Almost everything will be 3D printed. Birthday cakes, eyeglasses, prosthetics, houses are already some examples of things that are currently being 3D printed. Moreover, there is a huge demand in workforce today for people who can visualize things in 3D and design 3D. What are we doing to educate our children in these vital skills of tomorrow? That's where 3DBear comes in.
And today, what we're going to be talking about is technology that allows all of you to effectively use making and 3D design within your libraries. But maybe first, let's find out a little bit more information about you all. Let's do a quick check. How many of you have put in makerspaces or are thinking of using your libraries as a central resource for making and technology? Let's get a poll up there, Jussi. And people can maybe fill in that poll, and let's see where you all are coming from. Okay, maybe we can take a look at the results. And so it's interesting because that's really what we've been finding also. We've been going and talking to school libraries across the US and have found that about half either are already implementing or planning to implement in the next year or two a making center or 3D printing. Now, some of the reasons that schools are putting makerspaces into libraries is that this gives them a central place to share resources, to be able to offer integrated cross-curricular activities because of the high student engagement and because students learn higher order skills that we really want them to learn. But we're also finding that there are issues that schools face that can prevent schools from getting the results that they need. You know, for one, the technology itself can be difficult for teachers and librarians to learn. I mean, how many of us have experience with 3D design? And without that experience, how can we teach it to our students? And who is the time to learn new apps and programs and keep up with all the updates? Or secondly, you know, students can get really excited about 3D printing or augmented reality or virtual reality. But this isn't just about playing. This is about solving problems in order to learn. And it takes time to put together lesson plans that are engaging to the students and also aligned to what the students are supposed to be learning. Or third, I imagine a number of you have either used 3D printers or have talked to educators who have. And you know how frustrating it can be when it takes an hour or two or three to print out each item. And how do you teach iteration when each design takes 2 hours to print? And the process itself has quite a few potential points of failure. There's the modeling software. Is it too simplistic, or is it too complex? What additional software do you have to run in order to prepare the designed object so it's compatible with the 3D printer you use? How do you get the design file over to the printer? Who's setting up the printer for each run and then monitoring the printer to make sure that nothing goes wrong, or fixing the printer and restarting the jobs when it does? Going over these benefits and obstacles of 3D design projects leads us right up to 3DBear. Jussi, can you tell us a little bit about 3DBear?
3DBear overcomes all the obstacles Mitch mentioned. You can use 3DBear to design some object, like maybe a table or a bench or a statue. Then you can look through your smartphone camera to virtually place it and then see how it looks. It will appear on the screen right where you want it to appear, so you can make adjustments, maybe move it to a better place, resize it, or add some extra feature. And then when you share it with others, they see the same thing. It's almost like magic. We've prepared a video for you which shows 3DBear in use. Now, next, let's take a look at that. Bear with me a second when I set it up.
And I think as you view this video, you'll be able to see how students enjoy using the software and how they actually place objects and learn from it. Are you ready?
Yes.
3D modeling and printing can be difficult and cumbersome. Moreover, 3D learning content is limited. 3DBear changes this. Students attend a workshop in a local library. They're given a task: redesign the library using 3DBear. Ophelia and Nellie design a reading corner. You can drag an object onto the screen, place it where you want it, resize it, rotate it, change the color to your liking, really customize it. They want to have furniture, something green, and peace and quiet. In Eric and Sammy's reading corner, there's a soft chair, a computer, and a shelf full of fantasy books.
In 3DBear, students can design their own environment. It's really easy to use both for students and for the teacher. And with the lesson plans that 3DBear has planned, I can integrate it to my teaching effortlessly. Designing in augmented reality helps children to understand 3D thinking in a better way than any other tool I've tried. The most important thing is that the students can design and create themselves. We printed the best 3D designs and made an exhibition about them. It's not even about technology itself, it's about design thinking integrated into technology. I think that applications like 3DBear are the future of learning.
3DBear. Design, make, and learn using 3D technologies.
So hopefully you were able to see on that video the engagement of the kids and how they're able to use design thinking in order to learn higher level skills. But Jussi, do you have some screen captures to show like a before and after examples?
Absolutely. So here, students come to a local library to do 3D design with 3DBear. On the left, you see a space in the library where they were asked to design a reading corner. On the right, you can see the design made by two students, Eric and Samuel. So they designed this using 3DBear on an iPad. They created a learning corner which has a soft chair, a computer, and a shelf full of fantasy books. So let's take a look at the user interface. Here you see the user interface of 3DBear with another design. You can drag shapes from gallery onto the screen, place them where you want them, resize them, rotate them, change the color to your liking. Really customized things. And these objects, they stay in augmented reality where you have placed them, and you can share them with others. So this is the design by Nellie and Ophelia. In their reading corner, they wanted to have colorful furniture, something green, and peace and quiet by having mobile phones forbidden sign. So what I showed here was 3DBear's Spice Up Your Library learning module. In addition to doing the designs, students discuss in the module, in the actual lesson flow, about what makes good library design. Is it space, colors, aesthetic arrangement of furniture, level of noise, or what? We encourage students to think and design themselves and learn about good design principles that way.
So when 3DBear created the app, we went to educators in both the US and Finland. We watched how they used the app with their students, and listen to their suggestions. Really, they asked for three things. First, they wanted us to make it easy for them to get started. They wanted a starter set of lesson plans that they could pick from. And third, they wanted to make the lesson plans easy to find based on the grade of the student and the learning objectives that they wanted to achieve. So when you get 3DBear, you'll immediately have lesson plans for every grade. Every lesson plan provides a structure you can use to lead students through the activities and assess what they're learning. For example, what are the learning objectives? How should you prepare the students and the room for the activities? How do you walk the students through what they're supposed to do? And what should you do after the activity? How can you assess what the students have learned or done? These lesson plans have all been designed by teachers and tested with educators of all experience levels. Jussi, perhaps you can go through a couple of the lessons.
Absolutely. In the lesson named Redesign Your School, students first think about what are the most and least favorite parts of their school. What do they like the best? What bothers them? What do they want to improve? Is it noise, light, safety, design, colors, or what? Then they're given the task to use 3DBear to improve the site they choose. For example, last week in Oulu, on the east coast of Finland, students made the jungle gym safer by designing sand and safety cushions to soften the fall. They designed a place where they could do homework during free hours. They designed a quiet room onto a noisy corridor. And they designed colorful chairs for a crafts room which was dull because it didn't have color. Then the students presented their designs to each other and voted for the top 2 designs to be 3D printed. And what happened next is that they took the 3D printed designs to the principal and suggested that they improve their school that way. During this process, students collaborated, they used computational thinking, they designed, they learned technical skills, and they applied some of the concepts they were learning in math.
So Jussi, you've prepared lesson plans and curriculum for all the different grades in K6, K through 6, and different subject areas. But are teachers limited to following the lesson plans that your educators have prepared?
No. And that, in my opinion, is the greatest part. When you become comfortable with the use of augmented reality and 3D printing in teaching, you can bring in your own models into 3DBear. Teachers can give any kinds of lessons with the app by having their class to design their own 3D models. They could be based on a social studies lesson or a book that they're reading, or even a new story. By the time you've been using 3DBear for a few months, you'll be modifying an existing lessons and even making your own. Here we have some of the types of projects from different classes. We've had even teachers to create parts for a drone, which you see on the lower right.
And so let's say somebody sitting here today decides, well, something I'd like to get started. What does a library need to get started?
Getting started is really easy. You don't need much. You just need tablets or smartphones running on iOS or Android and internet connection. Having a 3D printer might be useful to eventually print out some of the designs, but not everyone needs to have a 3D printer. Having a 3D printer is optional. So Mitch, do you want to talk about the cost?
Of course, sure. And that's probably something that you all are wondering about also, right? Well, our goal is to make the application affordable. And we also understand that we're the new kid in town, so we have to provide an incredible value. If you're willing to sign up for this school year, we have an early adopter price, and it's based on the number of students. The price ranges from about $2.50 per student for 30 students, down to about $1 per student per year for 750 or more students. Your JLG rep has these prices, so just contact them and they can review them with you the next time you talk. As we look at schools today, libraries are becoming more and more 21st century learning centers, where schools pool technical resources that can be used school-wide, and where students supply academic and soft skills to solve problems and gain context for what they're learning in class. Using the 3DBear AR app and the lesson plans, you'll be able to lead students through the design process, engage them in creating solutions to real problems, and help them learn the skills, knowledge, and attitudes that we most need them to develop. And you can keep up with us and 3DBear on our website, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages. Jussi, if someone here wanted to explore using 3DBear AR in their school, what are the next steps?
After this webinar, your Junior Library Guild rep will be in contact with you. With him, you can talk about the best solution that works for you. When you take 3DBear to use, we are more than happy to provide you our expertise in getting the best out of the pedagogical modules. And we promise that with our user care, you will be never left alone.
And here's our contact information if you have any additional questions. But as long as you're here right now, what questions do you have? To ask a question, you can either click in the chat box, or you can click on the question on the top left of your screen. Oh, I see that there's already a question here, so let me ask this one first. Jussi, what are some of the most interesting uses you've seen of 3DBear AR in schools? And what do the students learn from them?
Oh, that's a good one. Last week, I was in Liverpool in United Kingdom. There, we did a module in which students designed art, 3D art, by combining geometrical shapes. They learned mathematics. For example, how do you make a pyramid out of a square and 4 triangles? And they used it in an art context. They created these pieces of 3D art in different parts of their school. They created them in augmented reality, shared with others, and there was group discussion about aesthetics of art, mathematics involved in it, and then they 3D printed the best designs. That's a good example that works pretty well in lower grades in elementary school. Let me take another one. This is my favorite topic, so I could speak about this the whole day, but let me take just another good one. 2 weeks ago in Finland, in Helsinki, we did a lesson in which students got to design a school garden. And this was part of a biology lesson. So there's a gallery which has all the kind of normal plants that you can use in garden design. That's quite a few, actually. And the students discussed about what plants work the best in what kind of environment. What do the plants need? They need sun, they need a certain kind of a soil. Maybe some plants go well together. Then they discussed about the aesthetics. What kind of a school garden is appeasing to eye? And then they each created on the spot that the school will create their school garden in the future. Each of them created their own version. And it's there. You can go to this place, look at the different designs that the students have done, and compare them. And the school's actually going to realize the design to build the school garden as they have designed it. So that's just another example.
And somebody brought up reading. You know, one of our goals is to inspire all kids to have a love of reading. How can 3DBear AR integrate with what the students are reading and really light that spark?
Oh, that's another good question again. For example, in a library, or in a school, if you have a reading class, you read a book like Alice in the Wonderland, or any other children's book you choose. You can use this to recreate scenes from that book into your library. So there would be virtual scenes from Alice in Wonderland, say the Tea Party, the Cheshire Cat, name it, and the students can do different scenes, and there can be a path that the library visitors walk through and see the scenes that the students have created. The visitors can be parents, teachers, who see the work of the students who have done the 3D models of their favorite novel.
Mm-hmm. So here's another question about, how much knowledge you need ahead of time. Let's say a person really has no knowledge of 3D printing. Now, I know you mentioned that with 3DBear AR, you don't even need a 3D printer because it's operating virtually. But have you seen people take to this, or what is it like when somebody knows nothing about 3D design or 3D printing and wants to get started with their class? How difficult is that?
Right. So with the application and the lesson plans we've done, that's really easy. And we offer also our help in getting started. We can take your hand and go through what happens in class. And then if you want to 3D print, we are also happy to provide our assistance to any problems that you might have. There are certain printers that work better than others, and we are happy to recommend the best solution for you.
And is the app available in the Android and app stores?
Yes.
So is that how a person uses the app, or what role does Junior Library Guild then have?
Right. So when you access the application via Junior Library Guild, you will be provided a license code that will unlock options in the application for you. You get lesson plans, the essence of it. You get access to the online platform. You gain our user support and pedagogical expert help. So you can try out the app for free, but to get access to right features, that's how Junior Library Guild and us, we come into play.
And will it work on Chromebooks?
Well, the thing is that Chromebooks are not that portable. So in the AR app, the idea is to design with a mobile device. So if you want to carry the Chromebook, yeah, it might be possible, but I don't recommend it. Nonetheless, we have other applications that we haven't spoken of in this webinar that deal with 3D printing, which are accessible via Chromebook. And we're happy to talk about those solutions as well.
So if you are interested in those, you can either contact Jussi, or you can contact me, or contact your JLG rep, who will put us in touch with you. And then I guess there's one more question so far. The other people, feel free to ask more questions. Is one of the reasons why these are going into libraries is because in a library you can really integrate a lot of different subjects. Maybe you could describe a science activity that integrates science, math, and art together.
Sure. And this is part of the kind of idea of doing design in augmented reality, 3D printing. It's kind of how this all fits into the design process. So say you're designing a dress and you want to create a button for your dress. In kind of an old-fashioned way, you need to create the button first to see how it looks like. Or you can do sketches, you can kind of do preliminary sketching of how the button would look like. But anyway, when you do it with augmented reality application, you can have the button exactly as it is there in the app and look on top of the dress. How would that button look on that dress? And you see it. You can browse different options. You can iterate. You can change your design. Then you can go back. Okay, this is exactly how it would look like. And when you're happy with the design, then you can 3D print it or create it in a traditional way. So this, I think, is a good example of how many different subjects come together. So in this example, you need to use kind of mathematics to get the scales and measures right. You have the art view, the aesthetics, what kind of a dress I'm making. Is it going to be pretty? And then also this kind of iteration, design thinking, learning by doing, what I think is really, really important in this context.
Most of us are in the United States now, and you're in Finland, so there's a 7-hour time difference. I guess it's 10:30 at night there, right?
That's right. And today's actually a special day. Snow fell last night, so it's first snow here. It's almost Christmas.
So are the reindeer out on your backyard?
Let me check. No.
No.
But we do have reindeer in Finland. Usually they don't come this south, but you know, might happen.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for staying up late and talking to us. And I hope that for all of you that this was very informative, that you got a good taste of what kids can use augmented reality or virtual reality for in libraries, and the software that makes it possible, which is 3DBear AR. Jussi, do you have any parting thoughts for us?
I'm so happy that all of you came and listened into us. And please, when your Junior Library Guild gets in touch, try this out and give it a try. I promise that it will be good.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And this is Mitch Weisburgh, and I'm signing off for Junior Library Guild and 3DBear, and hope you all have a great rest of the day.